I realized this morning that I got the timing wrong for my last two videos. They were done on weeks 12 and 13. I know this now because on week 15, something happened. On Monday the 17th, that was supposed to be my day for cross training. I had started doing mobility exercises to kind of loosen my joints to make me run better. So I did something like a lateral lunge, but you go low on the floor, and it didn't feel comfortable. I just managed to get through it a bit and moved on. The next day, Tuesday, I did an 8.1 kilometer run. It was fine. I came back, and the rest of that day, once in a while, I'd feel a twinge in my inner thigh, my upper inner thigh, but it didn't seem like anything. So on Wednesday, I did a 16.1 kilometer run. The run was fine. I enjoyed it. I came back. I did stretches. I really stretched well. And after that, I was in excruciating pain when I tried to walk. So I was just hobbling the rest of the day. Going up and down the stairs, I couldn't just climb up especially. I'd have to go good leg down, then just drop the second leg. And that's how it was the rest of that Wednesday. I reached out to a physiotherapist I know back home, and she gave me advice on what to do. She talked about icing, resting, heat eventually, and also using an anti-inflammatory. Thereafter, I chatted with a young pharmacist, and he countered her advice actually about the anti-inflammatory, and for some reason I took his advice over hers, but I did the rest. So on Thursday, I woke up feeling so low, very, very low. I mean, in my mind, okay, that's it. I've been training and working so hard for 14 weeks preparing for this marathon, and now I won't be able to run it, you know. So I sat up, I sat on the bed, and I just looked out where I'm sitting now, and I started to speak to myself. So I asked myself, have you made this marathon an idol in your life? So the world doesn't end if you don't run it, you know. So I realized I had made it, I guess, more than it should be. And so I released it to the Lord. I said, if I don't get to run this marathon, that's fine. Life goes on. And I felt lighter. But on the other hand, I also said to the Lord, I'm trusting you for a miracle. Now, this is one area in my life I've had a challenge with ever since I lost my first husband to cancer. The issue of healing is one aspect of my walk with God where my faith has never been really strong. So I said, Lord, this is an opportunity for me to experience this side of you, because I know in my head and in my heart you're a healer, but I want to experience it. And so I left it, and I felt better. So I could be healed, and I'm able to run, or I don't run. I also had to deal with the thought in my mind, okay, maybe I'll be able to run the marathon, but I'll have to do it without my last 3 weeks of training. And that Saturday, I was meant to do my peak training run, 32.2 kilometers, after which it should have started tapering down. So it was a huge blow to me, but I let it go. I just put it in the Lord's hands and started my rest. So that Thursday, I went down the stairs, and as I'm walking around the kitchen sorting out my breakfast, I realized the pain isn't as bad as it was on Wednesday. It was much less. I was like, oh, wonderful. And that day passed. Then on Friday, I go down, and as I'm coming up, I automatically start walking normally up the stairs, one leg on one level, the other leg on the other, not my hobbling. And I realized I wasn't experiencing pain. I was so excited. But the next, I think, couple of days, I did some things that I think strained it. So I started feeling the twinges again, started getting discouraged. But each time I would remind myself that God is able, and that if I don't run the marathon, it's fine. So I just decided to reach out to one of my best friends who is a nurse in the US, and as we're talking about it, she repeated exactly the same thing the physiotherapist said. She said I needed to use the anti-inflammatory, and she also talked about applying a hot compress. So I said, okay, that's it. I've ignored this before. The Lord speaks to us in different ways, and sometimes we want to dictate how He will do a thing. We want to, for instance, I could say, okay, I'm not doing anything with human medicine. The Lord will heal me miraculously and all of that. But sometimes He works through all the things that we have available as well. So I took this as Him speaking to me. So we got the anti-inflammatory and we started applying it, I think 2 days ago. And I can say that today, the last bit of pain that I was experiencing, which is when I sit on the bed and I want to lie, to lift up that leg to swing it onto the bed was still a challenge. So I'd actually have to use my hands, lift the leg, and adduct it to the right. But I noticed that last night I didn't even think about it. I just raised the leg on its own. So I can say that it's definitely getting better. This is 2 weeks to the marathon. So this week I decided that I would now begin to work those muscles lightly. So I googled, I got 4 light exercises just to begin to do that, and I've done the set for today. I'll do it every day this week, and then see if I can begin light running next week, which is the week of the marathon. I still trust God for a full recovery. I mean, I do know that I won't run if I don't feel I'm completely okay. So keep me in your prayers. If you haven't supported the fundraising that I'm doing for the American Cancer Society, please do so. I'll include the link in the description. Thank you.